Hello everyone and welcome to another weekly outlook video. So as usual, we're going to start with DXY. So last week, DXY, this is what we wanted to see. We had actually marked this key level and we also had this order block weekly and the daily order block. So we wanted to see price tag that. Then we continue with the bullish move because clearly you can see this structure has been bullish. So of course, now we expect a retracement before we continue with the bullish move. But as you can see, actually, we just spent the whole week retracing. So that happens. There are weeks where we mark our higher time frame key level, price tags our key level within the week, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday or even Monday, and then we continue with the move. And there are some weeks where it actually takes the whole week for price to get to the key levels that we had marked. And as you can see, this is one of those weeks. So let's see what we are likely to see this week. So DXY, if you look on the weekly time frame, you can clearly see that the structure is bearish. We've been making lower lows, lower high, lower lows. So then finally, this is what we had. So this week here, 15th September, we swept this liquidity and had this rejection. So because of that rejection, we kept getting bullish moves, as you can see. And that is why you see at this point, I'm just following that. And I've been looking at PDRAs to see which PDRA price will respect. But this is a weekly order block. You can see last week we actually tagged it and we closed the week bearish. So we now need to move to the daily to see exactly what PDRAs do we have and if it's going to support the bias at that point. Because when I'm doing my weekly outlooks, I use the higher time frame. That is the best way to determine the bias for the week. Daily, weekly, even at times I use monthly. And monthly, most of the time when you're setting a new month, that's when I look at the monthly chart. So let's see the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, you can see this is our weekly order block, and also all these consecutive bearish candles. These forms our daily order block, and as you can see, that's where price is at the moment. So let's see. So far, what do we have? We have this fair value gap right here. So this fair value gap is what will determine the next move of the market this week. So for us to get bullish moves after price tagged this weekly order block, we want to see price violate this daily fair value gap, invert it to become an inversion fair value gap, and then we use it for bullish moves. So that is scenario one. Scenario two, we also have there's a probability that this fair value gap can also be used by price to push price further lower here for DXY, because you can see here we still have a gap right here. And of course, if you're going to get bearish moves, this gap, and I'm also watching this sell side liquidity here. For bullish moves, this buy side liquidity up here, and we also have more buy side liquidities up. Remember, DXY is the dollar index. The dollar index determines what major pairs will do. So if DXY is bullish, all pairs that are positively correlated with the DXY should also be bullish. Pairs that are negatively correlated with DXY should do the opposite of DXY. So let's look at USDCHF. So USDCHF on the weekly time frame, as you can see, this structure is clearly bearish. We clearly have a bearish structure here. And we've been having these bullish weeks. And of course, we have some key levels here that the market could be retracing to. All these gaps, these are volume imbalance. All these gaps, as you can see, price has been. That is what we've been getting. And you can see we tagged it the other week, and then this week, the week that just ended, we also tagged it and closed as a bearish week. And we have formed an order block right here. So let's go to the daily time frame and see. And on the daily time frame, of course, this is our weekly order block. We have it right there. So we have a fair value gap. See, 1, 2, 3 candles, and also a volume imbalance. Remember, anytime we have a volume imbalance and a fair value gap, we mark them together as a one PDRA. So we have that, and we also have 1, 2, 3 candles with a volume imbalance. So we are going to also mark that as our second fair value gap. So these again, very important key levels that we watch. So for bearish moves, because you can clearly see we've been bearish, we even have an order block here for the daily. This is right here, consecutive bullish candles, and then we had this bearish move. This is our order block, and also this is our weekly order block. So for bearish moves, we're likely to get a retracement to this first fair value gap and the weekly order block and get a bearish move, or we might violate it and tag the second fair value gap, and then we get our bearish move. Because you can see if we take a fib and measure from, you can see 50% of this range is here, 50% is right here. So I'm watching those two levels, very important. That is what will determine the price action that we'll have this week. And then of course we also have DXY. So DXY also had the fair value gap. So it means if the bearish fair value gap holds and we're getting bearish moves, then USDCHF you're also likely to get the bearish moves because they're both positively correlated. Now this is the final. We don't want to see price violate this. If we violate this, then you're likely to get a bullish move. So let's look at EURUSD, starting with the weekly time frame. So EURUSD, if you see clearly, we've been bullish for some time. We've been getting bullish moves until this week right here, where you can see price tagged a higher time frame key level. There's some fair value gap here and buy side liquidities, and got this rejection candle. So the moment we got that, at that point we were anticipating bearish moves, and as you can see, we had a bearish week and a bullish week and then bearish week, and we also have this order block that was formed. So last week, as you can see, price tagged this order block here, and so far that's what we have. So let's look at the daily time frame. So on the daily, of course, our weekly bearish order block is here. We have a daily fair value gap here. So for bearish moves, we want to see price invert this fair value gap. So we want to see price invert this, then we use it to push price lower. And I'd be looking at this sell side liquidity. We have this sell side liquidity here. And of course, this is the first sell side liquidity. So that is one. We also have, there's also a probability that this bullish fair value gap can be used to push price higher. So we might also use this to get bullish moves, and of course if that happens, still we're going to use that, and I'll be looking at this buy side liquidity up here. So I want you guys to be flexible. Just let the market guide you. Let our key levels and our PDRAs guide us, because no forcing issues. If we violate this, well and good, we're going to look for bearish moves. If we respect it, still well and good, we are going to use it to look for bullish moves. At the end of the day, what is important? We are here to make money. So let's look at GBPUSD. GBPUSD is positively correlated with EURUSD and negatively correlated with the DXY. So we're not going to spend really a lot of time here. So again, first of all, we have SMT with EURUSD here at the bottom. You can see GBPUSD, we took out this low Friday 10th October. Well, EURUSD, we did not take out this low. So that's an SMT. And we have now this fair value gap. So for us to get bullish moves, of course, we want to see price use this to push price higher. For bearish moves, of course, we want to see price violate this, then we get the bearish move. So guys, DXY is our leading indicator. Watch those DXY key levels keenly. So let's look at yen pairs. And for yen pairs, we normally start with the yen basket. So yen basket is the yen, and we use the yen basket to as a leading indicator to determine exactly what yen pairs are going to do, like GBP, JPY, Euro, JPY. So yen basket, because it's yen, it's good to watch if you're trading yen pairs. So last week we wanted to see price tag this fair value gap, and then we get bearish moves. And as you can see, actually price, we actually use the whole week. That's literally what we did. The whole week we just tagged our higher time frame key level. So let's see what we have for this coming week. Yen basket, we have this weekly order block, which we marked in our last weekly outlook video. And as you can see, price tagged it, and this is what we have. So let's look at the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, of course, our order block is here, and we also have this fair value gap, and this is exactly where price is at the moment. As long as we don't violate this daily fair value gap, I expect that this might be used to push price lower. However, if we violate it, then of course, this again, we still have this weekly fair value gap. As long as this weekly fair value gap has not yet been violated, we still expect that the yen is weak. But as of now, so that is what I'm watching, and we see what price will do. So let's look at GBPJPY. So for GBPJPY, I did a follow-up video. I did a second video, and I marked this daily inversion fair value gap. And in that video, I told you guys that there's a high probability that price would use this inversion fair value gap to push price lower, and that is what we got during the week. But still, our gap is not yet filled. Let's see what price is likely to do this coming week. So first of all, I want to tell you guys that GBP, JPY, and the yen basket are negatively correlated, because remember, yen basket is the yen. GBP, JPY, that is Great Britain pound against the yen. So if the yen is weak, you expect GBP, JPY to be strong, and vice versa. So on the weekly time frame, as you can see, still it looks bullish. Our gap was not filled. So let's look at the daily time frame. So on the daily, this is the gap, and we still have our inversion fair value gap right here. So I want to see price give us bearish move, and we tag this gap here. That's one way I see it. Another way, there's also a possibility that we might violate this. So if we violate this inversion fair value gap, then expect definitely bullish move. But as of now, my high probability is seeing price give us bearish move to this gap right here. So another thing, guys, USD JPY is positively correlated with the DXY. And of course, now because it has the yen, you expect it has a correlation with the yen basket. But I want to tell you guys that USD JPY, because it has USD in it, it has a strong correlation with DXY compared to the yen basket. So always use USD JPY with the DXY for correlation and not the yen basket. So let's look at gold, starting from the weekly time frame. As usual, again, gold is at all-time highs. We expect more bullish moves. And of course, you can see price has been leaving breakaway gaps even on the weekly time frame. So that's all we see, a breakaway gap. And there's a high probability that we are also going to leave this as a breakaway gap. So let's look at the daily time frame. So here we have this daily fair value gap here, bullish, and we also have this daily bullish fair value gap. So I'm expecting that price might use this to give us more bullish moves, or if we violate this and invert this, then I'd be expecting that we might use this to push price to this daily fair value gap here, because this is also a key level that the market could come to. But as of now, there's really a high probability that we're just likely to get more bullish moves from this daily fair value gap here. So I want us to look at the 4 hour today. So on the 4 hour, you can see we have this fair value gap right here, and we also have this very tiny fair value gap here. So you can see we tagged this on Friday, and we have that. So if we violate this, that is a good sign that we are going to use this to push price higher. So lastly, let's look at the NAS 100, which is also US 100. And again, US 100, we're at all-time highs. And this is what we had last week. So let's look at the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, we have this order block here. And also I like we grab this liquidity here. So I want to see this order block be used to push price higher. So that is all I'd prepared for this week. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next one.